to the Dr. Joy Show with your host, Dr. Joy.
You're tuning in to the Dr. Joy Show. Previously, we had two distinctive gentlemen and two women of destiny on the show as they commented on dating and relationships. Let us now welcome Mr. and Mrs. Henry Thomas. Welcome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, tell us, what do you think about relationships today?
Wow. Relationships today, complicated.
Yes, that's a good word. And why do you think it's complicated?
It's my opinion that we have a tendency, or people have a tendency to make relationships complicated. We immediately go from meeting to commitment. And there should be, and I think someone said earlier about the stages. You have to get to know people.
Yes, you do.
You have to get to understand people. You have to know people for where they are, where they stand. And in a relationship, you have to take your time. It's not instantaneous. It's not it could be spontaneous, but it's not instant.
Okay.
I don't think it's instant.
How much time do you think one needs?
That depends on the individuals.
Okay.
It depends upon the individuals, what they're looking for, what they're searching for. And I think one of your couples said something the last time. I think it has to be something that, well, it would depend on the individuals. And when you talk about time, length of time, I know people that have been dating 5, 6, 7 years and still look like they're on first base. But then there are people that I've met that only dated a year that are successfully married.
Okay.
So I think it depends upon the people.
Okay. Well, Mr. Thomas, let me ask you, how long did it take you to get to second base?
How long it took me to get to second base?
Yeah, how long did it take you to get to second base after the initial getting to know you stage?
Define second base.
Well, that's a good question. Second base, well, the first base would be to get to know you. Hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. You go on a couple dates. And then second base would be more or less that you're a little bit more comfortable with each other. You're holding hands maybe, or having a kiss on the cheek, or going out to dinner because you want to spend time with this individual. How long, what was that timetable, since Ms. Thomas mentioned the timetable factor?
Our dating relationship was kind of different from most normal dating relationship, because we dated over the phone. I was working in Dallas and she was here in Atlanta.
Wow.
So we got to talk a lot over the phone. So we got to know each other very well over the phone. So getting to second base was over the phone, getting to know her and for her to get to know me. And at the time, getting to know Nicole. And so it was, getting to second base was just communicating, talking, laughing on the phone, talking about ideas, talking about us, and so it was nice. It was quite expensive, but it was nice.
And I'm pretty sure it was different too, because usually people, they meet each other one-on-one, and then you have that physical time together where you can go to the movies and things like that, but you guys didn't have that.
We met one-on-one, but no, we did not have that ritual dating as people do. No, we didn't. Okay. We got to know each other via AT&T.
Okay,
AT&T.
So once you guys got over the phone stage, and I take it that you did come together at some point, what was the glue that kept you guys together all this long? 29 years, ladies and gentlemen, they've been married, 29 years. So how did you do that? What is the secret?
Once again, commitment.
Okay.
Yes, that I know we throw it around,
Yes,
commitment, but it takes commitment. If you're not committed, you're you tend to go in so many different directions. But being committed to the relationship, being committed to her, and she also to me. That's to me what and also trusting each other. For instance, I knew she had friends, male friends, before we got married, and she knew I had friends and female friends before we got married. But then there was a point where her male friend would call and say, "Well, may I speak with Carol?" I said, "Sure," and I would hand her the phone. And especially this one, he was surprised that I would just didn't question him. Who are you and why are you calling and all of that. But just trusting her. I believed in her, and so trust, commitment,
and communication.
Of course, yes.
And that's interesting that you said that, because today you cannot have male or female friends if you're with someone. It's just a taboo or something like that. It's like, why do you have to have male friends? I'm the only one that you have, or I'm the only one that you need right now. And it's interesting that you mentioned trust, because you have to have trust in any type of relationship. And I think that is the main thing that's lacking, is that so many people are doing whatever they want to do and no one trusts each other.
Well, that's true. I think people bring their, I don't want to say baggage, but their...
You're right, baggage.
Okay. Bring their baggage into each relationship that they form. But without revealing what the baggage is.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you have to empty that bag.
Yes.
You need to get rid of. I read somewhere that they were saying each relationship prepares you for the next. You take the good from it, you take the bad from it. I think in failed relationships, you have to look at your part that you played in the failure. And then you look at the other person's part in it. What hurt you? Okay, well then I will not stay, I can't take that again. If it's unfaithfulness, then the next person that I meet or come in contact with must be faithful. Exactly. You take the good and you grow into the person that you are destined to be. But you just can't bring every little thing that happened in your life into each and every relationship. If so, then it can't stand under the weight.
Yeah.
Okay. It just can't hold up under the weight.
Right.
You have to trust, and I think we were different because we did talk a lot. He knew what I expected or what I needed in a relationship, as well as I knew what he needed. We were committed to each other. And Joy, I have to say this, my mother, she told us individually, not together, but our wedding day, right before, right after, she said to each one of us, you all need to stay on your honeymoon as long as possible. And I think we try to keep that in mind. We try, and I'm a firm believer, you got to do the same thing to keep them as you did to get them.
Good.
You can't, oh baby, whatever you want when you're getting to know the person, and then when they, okay, well then we're together, you're like, oh no, you got to change.
Exactly.
You can't change individuals.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
my mother-in-law, every time we talked, she would ask, are you still on your honeymoon? Every time, until she passed.
Okay.
Every time she said, are you still on your honeymoon? And I would always say, yes, I'm still on my honeymoon.
Great. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And the other thing is, too, is that you got to pull in the same direction.
Yes.
You can't be
Yes.
pulling in opposite direction, because
Yes.
you're never going to get any place. But
Great.
yes.
Okay, well, thank you so very much, Mrs. Thomas.
Thank you, Dr. Joy,
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much, Mr.
Thank you.
Thomas, for being on the Dr. Joy Show. Thank you. I would like to thank my guests, Mr. and Mrs. Cleon Hodges, and Mr. and Mrs. Hank Thomas for sharing their insights on this special edition of Dating and Relationships. If you missed any part of this show, please tune in next week for a rerun or view it again on youtube.com/The Dr. Joy Show. We are constantly seeking energetic sponsorships. You've seen the show, now become a part of it. Allow this show to uplift your church event, business, or service right here. Stay tuned to upcoming episodes where you will continue to be inspired, uplifted, and transformed. Same time, same day. See you soon.